How to behave. This is your DNA. It is present in every cell of your body, telling the cell how to behave. What is the DNA made up of? We say answers, which help understand your body and risks it may face from diseases in the future. A DNA test can predict whether you will have diabetes passed on from generations, or a possibility of developing risk of heart disease. It can tell you how strong your lungs are, or how well immune your body is to battle a virus. Sounds complex? It isn't. DNA testing is easy, safe, accessible, economical, and 99.9% accurate with MyDNAPedia. The MyDNAPedia test kit is safely manufactured in our best-in-class lab in Europe, opened by you in your home for sample collection and sent back to our lab for testing. So, there is only one human touch. That is yours. Our team of experienced scientists and genetic counselors share in-depth analysis of the test. This data will not only detect predisposition to diseases through various genetic markers, but also help you build exercise regimes and diet plans. Even design gene-based treatment plans, which show great results for long-term health. MyDNApedia, after helping 1 million happy families build a healthier and fitter lifestyle, is here to modernize healthcare for Indian families. Be a part of the DNA revolution. Be in the best of health with MyDNApedia.
This bit is a little technical, so even if you have technical questions, please ask them in the Q&A section, and we'll be more than happy to take that at the end. I'd request Ankit, we'll start with the presentation now.
Pallab, can you see my screen?
Yes, I do. So let's start with, we are talking about DNA testing or genetic testing for that matter. Give me the freedom to be a little technical, very brief. So what is DNA? We've been talking about DNA. So DNA is basically short form of deoxyribonucleic acid. It is called the book of life. It stores information about all the hereditary materials which are passed on from earlier generation to the next generation. Now, we have all seen that DNA is that double helical structure. DNA actually is made up of molecules called nucleotides. Each nucleotide has a phosphate group, a sugar group, and a nitrogen base. This is all that it is made up of. There are 4 types of nitrogen bases: adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine. When they are attached in spiral, they create a double helical structure. इतना ही मैं आपको बोर करने वाला हूँ. This is important because we are talking about DNA testing. Let's move on to the next slide. So what do we do? I mean, now we understand what DNA structure is, what DNA is. So what we do? So what we do is, genetic testing is a type of medical test which identifies, we look out to check for mutations in chromosomes, genes, and proteins. Now, what does these mutations tell us? These mutations tell us, give us a world of information. They can tell us whether you will have diabetes passed on from earlier generation, whether you will develop, psoriasis, what type of sleeping rhythm you have, what type of motivation to exercise you may have. So it gives us a plethora of information. It's not just about getting to know diseases in future, it gives us a sense of relief as well. If we are able to control, if we know in advance that we may have this disease, we'll be able to control it by preventive measures. And that is what I meant by saying preventive healthcare. Let's move on to the next slide. So, I mean, of course, we are not the only ones doing it across the world, but what makes us different and better from our competitors per se? So, MyDNAPedia uses a patented process in which we are able to give you 99.9% accuracy. Now, it's as good as 100, but perfection is a fad, as they say. What we do is we use ASPCR, allele specific polymerase chain reaction, in which we take a single strand of DNA, we multiply it 200 times in PCR machines, and then individually we look at the mutations which can tell us about the diseases. We are the only ones who have US FDA approvals for all our machineries. Now, what does competitors do? They use microarray. Now, microarrays, we look at a pool of DNA and we check how it behaves. And we have specific answers for their behavior pattern. On the basis of that, they are able to tell you what diseases you will have in future. That has only 80 to 85% accuracy. Again, having 99.9% accuracy and being the most economical all across the world gives us an edge over our competitors. Moving forward. So what do we, me and Ankit, bring to the table? So we, both of us, form RL Ventures, which is a startup under Make in India initiative. Our mission is to be India's foremost choice among DNA test providers by offering most affordable DNA testing with seamless. We have a focus on affordability because we want to reach masses. The vision is to reduce burden of lifestyle diseases prevalent in nation and promote healthy and fit India. Now, what are our offerings? So generally what I do is I ask my audience on what is the most, basic lifestyle diseases that India is suffering from, all the world is suffering from. It is type 2 diabetes and it is cardiovascular disease, CAD. We cover that in well-being test. The first test which we are offering, and it is our USP. I mean, this is the hot selling test of ours. Second test we have is VO2 max test. Now, what VO2 max test, and this was selling like hotcakes in COVID. It tells you how immune your lungs are to fight off diseases like COVID and SARS. It gives you an idea about how strong your lungs are and how immune your system is. Then again, we have amazing tests called fitness tests, which is for gyms, where we are able to tell what type of body does a person have, how it behaves to different exercises, and a specific routine can be formed according to their body type, where they'll get results faster. Again, we have a skin test, and this is quite famous, where we are able to tell you whether you'll have vitiligo. Vitiligo is white spots. In future, you will have diseases like alopecia, psoriasis, skin cancer, sun sensitivity and pigmentation, and so on and so forth. Now we are moving on to our premier solutions. So again, this solution is MDP 360. We've been offering this to Indian cricket team, Indian national cricket team. And look at the parameters that we are able to cover in this. And you'll be surprised what all of this is directly related to our genetic makeup. Your risk-taking ability and curiosity is also genetic. Happiness is genetic. If you come from a second generation entrepreneur, all we've ever heard is our parents telling us, "Subah jaldi uth jaoge, everything will be sorted." You can tell them कि late utna is also genetic, the sleeping rhythm, the circadian rhythm, and it is passed on from our earlier generations. Now, diseases, risk of osteoporosis, celiac disease, lactose intolerance, bowel cancer, injuries, muscle cells injury, muscle cell type, risk of Achilles tendinopathy, ligament injury. We are able to cover diseases like, again, cardiovascular, type 2 diabetes, effect of exercise on blood pressure. You can see a lot of celebrities, a lot of athletes are collapsing on gyms after doing exercises. We'll get to know how their body behaves to exercises. This is 360. Now we have Premier, in which we've divided it into 7 parts. In Premier, we are offering everything under the roof. So your fitness profile, your nutrition, your weight management, weight well-being, effect and risk of alcohol on your body, skin health and mental well-being. A snapshot of MDP Premier is present in the next slide. So now this is the most important test, and we take the credit of bringing this revolution to India. The offering is Rising Star test for sports institutes and coaches, and also for schools. What we are able to tell here is legendary. We are able to tell students which sport to take up according to their genetic makeup, in which their body is gifted at. So if they are able to take up that sport for which they've made, of course, they'll be able to perform much better. Their confidence will be sky high. I mean, if you're playing a sport and you're naturally good at it, you'll get that confidence in your life. We are so accurate in this, we can tell you in what position you are made for when it comes to team sports like basketball or football. So, I mean, this is revolutionary. Next slide. Our quality is it's a non-invasive test. What do we mean by non-invasive test? Blood sample is not required in this. Like in COVID, we took samples from nose. Here we take it from buccal cavity. All we have to do is rub it 10 times here, 10 times here, dry it for 10 minutes, and the sample is good to go. We send this sample all across to the Europe, in Finland, a world-class laboratory, and the reports come in turnaround time of around 21 days. Sample processing is pretty simple. DNA is extracted from that swab. Like I told you, the DNA strand is multiplied about 200 times. Then the experts look at SNPs, which is single nucleotide polymorphism, which is also called mutation. And these observations are then compared to the South Asian population, which is India and around. And the results are shared with us. Next slide. This is our team. I myself am the CEO of the team. I did my pharmacy and I did my MBA from SP Jain Institute in Mumbai. I am also an ex-Indian national basketball team captain. So hence the enthusiasm for sport. We have our CMO, Ankit Agrawal, who did his engineering from Gandhi Nagar College, and he is an ex-FMS Delhi pass out. He also did his MBA from FMS Delhi. He brings the professionalism to the team. He's the stickler to T. And then we have Rini Seni, who's the Chief Scientific Officer for the team. And she has had experience of working on RT-PCRs throughout her life. She is BIT Mestra postgraduate. So she brings that technicality to the team. I'd like to pass on the baton to Ankit to go through the processes and the operations part. And I'll be happy to take on all the questions. Sorry, I'm rushing because we've been allotted only 15 minutes for the presentation, but we'll be more than happy to take all the question and answers in the end. Ankit, over to you.
Thank you. Hi guys. Again, thank you so much for joining. We are very happy to take you through our Difference, as Pallav showed us what the customer, you have to tell the customer that what are the different DNA testing, what are the different molecules, what are the different DNS tests, and what we all do. Now, coming on to the key features of MyDNAPedia. I'll just briefly read the key features. You can read over here. We are high quality, best in class lab based in Europe. As Pallav told us, we are 99.9% accurate with our ALPCR technology. We have done 1.8 million tests worldwide. And this is talks about our capabilities to do tests flawlessly. We are 100% contactless, safe and hygienic, as we showed in the video as well, that we collect. The sample is just touched by one human, that's you. It's non-invasive because we collect in the buccal swab. It's hassle-free, you pack it and it gives you a result. The highlight point over here is one test for the lifetime. No repeat test is required ever for specific panel. Your DNA stays the same. We are in-depth DNA analysis. We do a holistic counseling post where in our report it's shown everywhere. Two important points which I actually want to highlight. One, we are a GST-free product. There is no GST charge on our product. So our costing price is the MRP over here. And two, our product falls under 80DD. So whatever test the customer gets done, 5,000 out of it is tax-free every year. So that's a good thing which we can also get done over here. Now, this is how the Indian genetic market is expanding. As we could see is that right now West and North has the highest share, followed by South over here. We can see that the DNA testing is growing highest in point of care, and that's where exactly we are sitting. The other DNA testing companies are in the self-testing or OTC, and we are not there. We are into the point of care portfolio. Now, talking about the franchisee model, these are the different value propositions which we are offering. Easy to access and competitive price points where you can sell the product easily. Domestic and international network, which is India. We are present already in 10 plus countries right now. Comprehensive wellness parameters testing solutions available over here. Central lab based in Europe, and we are opening a lab in Dubai and planning to open a lab in India in next 2 years. We have been operational since 2012, done 1.8 million tests. We provide end-to-end technology, training, and scientific support so that you don't feel that what is happening over here, what is the science behind it. We are US FDA and EMA approved companies, and we use equipment approved by these two government authorities only. We are the only company which has both the authorization. We have international quality standards, again, US FDA and EMA talks about it. This is an important part of the profile where we mentioned what kind of partner profile which we are looking at. We are looking at one, the entrepreneurs who are keen to join the high growth industry with CAGR is growing crazily, and it's completely blue ocean. There is not a single brand in India which are going to the doctors as for DNA testing and asking them to prescribe, or going to sports coaches and asking to get that done for students. So the entire world is your oyster over here. We want someone who already has existing independent practices of pharma distribution so that they understand this. This is a preferred profile. Obviously with sufficient financial bandwidth so that they can invest and rotate the money in the business. People who have business development and capability experiences, and people who have local connect where they know that the right gyms, right doctors, right trainers, part of different organizations, right Rotary Club, Lions Club, BNIs, Roundtable, and other organizations. So this is where a preferred partner profile sits in. This is our rollout plan. These are the cities which we are looking at. We are looking for a FOFO model where it will be franchisee owned, franchisee operated through and through. We are open across India. There are different cities with different, and we are open in all zones. It's not like we're limited to any zone. So if there are any queries, please reach out to the franchisee India partners for the same. Our model is, I'll explain to you how the model function is that when the franchisee takes franchisee from us, they receive a fixed number of inventory, the number of blank kits. The franchisee goes and promotes the products to the doctors, gym chains, education and sports institutes, in different doctors, schools, sports academies. Those people prescribe tests for the patients. Patients, after going through it, consumes or they purchases this from either directly from the institutes or from the franchisee, and the franchisee person can go and deliver it. Once the DNA is collected, all the DNA samples are collected back at the collection center, which is the franchisee over there. Now the franchisee, after getting a minimum MOQ, they collect it and send it back to Indore, our CFA, where our backend team, our scientific team checks every kit, checks the consent form, and post everything is done, we send it to Finland in Europe. As you could see that we are not asking any of you to open a lab, not going through science. Your work will be very minimal, very non-scientific and very easy to execute work, where you have to promote a product and get the DNA collected. That's it. As it is the franchising model, it's a FOFO model where we are looking ownership, investment, operations, all three by franchisee, brand guidelines, which we will be giving to you. Revenue is by franchisee, expenses are by franchisee, and franchisee gets a net profit over here. These are the different roles and responsibilities. The major part is that the franchisee has to take care of day-to-day operations and everything. The brand will help for the hiring and training going forward, providing the different kits. And whenever there is a new product or any scientific query coming up, the brand will help you out with that. These are the again key partner function roles, where pre-opening we help you for the right training, site selection, everything, and post-opening we help you with the correct kind of marketing, the kind of pull marketing, will provide the training and the expansion of different products which are coming and the right pricing. This is the most important part of the slide, as all of you are aware, wanted to be here only. So this is what the franchisee key parameters are looking like for next 5 years plan in any city where we are giving franchisee. We are looking at roughly 200 to 300 square feet area of an office. It doesn't need to be the central part of the city. It can be anywhere because the clients will not be coming here. We are looking at investment ranging from 11 to 14 lakhs depending upon the city. There is a flat franchisee fee and a training fee which is mentioned. We are looking at a potential of revenue ranging from 1.5 to 3 CR over here, where you get a good margin, where it's upon you how you utilize the margin, where you're passing some margin to either some doctors or some providing discounts to the different people or to the patients. That's upon you to rule out with. The payback period, as you could see, is very, very attractive over here. We have taken a very controlled figures, and there are some franchisees which have finished their ROI in less than 10 months as well. It depends upon the right connect and the right distribution, right energy.